good morning, everybody. Again, Andrew Turner, Sony ES product specialist here for the Central Region. Today, we have got a pretty full session. We're going to be covering the Pro BRAVIA flat panels and the Pro projector lineup, our LCD projector lineup. So, kind of a give and take on what's good about the lineup, where to pick the right display for the right application, and how we can make these a very successful part of your install. So let me switch cameras here, and we'll hopefully everybody can see my PowerPoint screen all right. So what we're going to look at with the Pro BRAVIA panels is really kind of what display fits right for your application. Because when we look at our Pro panels versus our consumer panels, there are a lot of similarities, but there are also a couple of key differences that you need to keep in mind when quoting these in. So first off, let's look at what makes our Pro panel or our consumer panels. With our consumer panels, we do have a very wide product lineup. We've got everything from our 700 series to our Z8H 8K panels, our OLEDs, our LEDs, lots of different options for different sizes of applications and different price points. They are very competitive pricing when we look at consumer panels. The consumer market is very fluid. Things change on a daily basis, at times. So our pricing has to be really kind of, following the marketplace and what's happening. There are going to be more frequent model changes with a consumer product. Consumers, they like new stuff, man. We can't wait. As soon as we come out with our 2020 product, everybody asking, oh, well, what's going to be new for 2021? We want these newer products on a consumer cycle. Consumer products are televisions. They have a built-in over-the-air tuner in our consumer products. They have a consumer warranty at 1 year parts and labor, and these are products that are all intended for residential use. When we look at how a Pro product is designed, a couple of these things really do not apply. For example, we need a much more focused lineup with our professional products. So it is one display lineup in all sizes, 43, 49, 55, 65, 75, 85. So we can have a wide variety of sizes, but a single kind of operational aspect and single performance standpoint across all sizes in that display line. They are going to operate on a higher sales price, and it's not going to be a promotional pricing model. And part of that kind of ties into point number 3 here is these are a 2-year model life cycle. I get a lot of applications where I've gone in and done even very large homes in very short a period of time. But typically when you get into large homes, large commercial installations, these are not an overnight job. They require a bid process. They require, time for construction. It's 6 months, 12 months, 18 months down the road sometimes before you're getting to final completion. So we want pricing to remain consistent, and we want the models to remain consistent. So, we're looking at, again, a very consistent, price point and a longer life cycle to make sure that we're not going to have to change our bid, our products in our bid, 3-4 different times during the build cycle. These are professional products, so there is no over-the-air connection on it. These TVs are not TVs, they are monitors, so no tuner built into any of the professional models. And they are now, though, covered by a Pro warranty. Most of your commercial bids require a 3-year, some require up to a 5-year warranty. So all Pro products carry a 3-year warranty with a 5-year option. So you can extend that out to a longer term. And while these are, from our Pro group perspective, they kind of said, oh, well, these are intended for commercial use. I also look at these as great for residential applications for a couple of these features. For things like when we get into a large home, a 15,000, 20,000 square foot house, I'm sorry, man, but these are professional level installations, and they a lot of times will need these Pro level products. So there's a lot of really great aspects to this Pro line that makes them ideal for, again, a variety of these applications, whether it's corporate applications, digital signage, meeting room applications, whether it's a single office or an entire worldwide campus and worldwide offices. We can adapt to any size of corporate application. Education, man, this is a absolutely booming market right now. And if you're not in the educational channel, even in the residential home educational channel, man, with virtual school and everything that's going to be virtual learning environments that are going to be happening this fall, this is going to be a major player, I think, for many years to come. And then the retail applications, being able to do digital signage, digital menu boards. Fortunately, we're starting to get a little bit back to the point where we can go to a sports bar and hopefully see a baseball game here. Man, Texas Rangers first game tonight. I cannot wait for that to be on TV. But we're going to be able to see some of this. More return to retail here, hopefully over the next coming months. And so we've got some great applications for these. And, you think about, things like digital menu boards, our BRAVIA players. Some of these applications are going to be expanding into restaurants that would have never typically had some of these capabilities just, due to some safety precautions. So a lot of great applications here from these professional channels. And again, as I mentioned, those large homes, those commercial grade installations for residential, absolutely great options for these Pro BRAVIA panels. So what makes a Pro BRAVIA panel better than anything else out there? Well, it's the same thing that we do in our TVs, man. 50 years plus as a TV manufacturer. We simply know how to build an amazing television. 23 years of dominance in picture processing capability. Just because these are Pro panels does not mean they are lacking in audio video performance. And then, again, we've been a display pioneer since 1968. We simply are the only company that's involved in every single facet of that lens to living room approach. So when we're making cameras, we're making broadcast equipment, we're making the screening monitors, we're doing projectors in the commercial cinemas. We are going to be able to deliver all of this picture quality, all of this performance into our commercial products to complete that really the lens to living room or lens to boardroom approach in this case. So, our BRAVIA panels, as I mentioned, really wide range of sizes, 43 up through an 85 inch here, lots of different sizes. We've really gone through a couple of key elements to make sure that they are going to fit properly into all of your bid requirements. Again, that 2-year platform. Our FW35 series that we're going to be talking about today came out in 2018. It is going to be phased out this year. We're going to be coming out with our new 40 series here in September. So we will be talking about both the 35 and the 40s today. We look at how the some of those governmental regulations, things like TAA compliance. So if you're putting these in, again, any school district, any governmental application that requires trade compliance, you can be assured that all Sony products are BRAVIA Pro and projector products are TAA compliant for these installations. We're going to make sure that we have some special software things on here, like our Pro modes, our BRAVIA meeting, our BRAVIA signage applications, going even further with some of the more advanced applications in the HTML5 platform. And also a really key thing here for our channel is traditionally our dealers in the custom channel have not been as, in some cases as much opportunity with these commercial bids, because a lot of it depended on how many you're going to buy. Are you going to be buying one piece? Well, that price is going to be different, very different than if you're buying 10 pieces or 50 pieces or 100 pieces. The way our program has been established here for the custom channels, you are getting that best dealer pricing. So whether it's 1 unit or 100 units, you're going to be able to come in with a very strong competitive bid that's going to allow you to put these panels in and still be a big player in the game and looking at that profit potential. So how these match up with our consumer panels, the BZ35F is going to come in at an equivalent to an 850G series. So it is going to be an edge lit, very bright panel, 550 to 620 nits, depending upon the size. And again, 43 through 85 inches available. Coming out here later this year in September, we have our new BZ40 series, which is going to be in a 55, 65, 75, and 85. The BZ35 and the 43 and 49 will continue. And these are going to come in about the picture level of a 900 series if you're comparing them to our consumer product. But taking these out of the box, these are again, Pro panels from the ground up. The remote controls here are made for consumer, not for consumer use, but for Pro use. They do not have a Netflix button. They've got HDMI 1, HDMI 2, HDMI 3, all as discrete IR commands. Your manuals are written for, knowing that these are going into a professional installation. Things like RS-232 and IR control and IP control, setting up Pro mode. Your manuals in the box are made for these type of applications. Speaking of control capability, man, we are rock solid when it comes to IP, RS-232, and serial control. A great thing about our Pro panels is they use that same platform as our consumer panels. So where we've built these to be rock solid in their integration capabilities, that same capability carries over to our Pro panels. Again, giving you things like Crestron Connected, Kramer controls, IP controls, RS-232, direct IR input, CEC commands, BRAVIA sync, all of those good buzzwords we like to have. But bottom line, what this comes down to is it doesn't matter what control system you like to work with, we're going to be able to integrate really, really reliable with any of those control systems. So looking at the connectivity on these panels, now this is unique on the BZ35H here. You may know what these red, green, and blue things are right here. Man, that's called a component video input, otherwise known as a dinosaur. Sorry, Analog Sunset is here. It's been here for a long time. This is with the BZ35H, this is your last opportunity to get a Sony 4K display with component video inputs. This is really critical. If you've got one of these installations that has a component video distribution system that was installed in the early aughts, man, this is a great opportunity to get in there and upgrade those systems to Sony 4K panels. If you can't upgrade that component system to an HDMI, this is a really great chance here. But going forward, this will be removed in the BZ40 series, but we do still have it in the BZ35. But all panels will have 4 HDMI inputs, 2 USB inputs. Again, your direct connect for IR inputs and RS-232 over here on the side panel through those 1/8" mini jacks, and of course your hardwired network connection for your IP control. From a mounting perspective, these can go in a variety of applications. We have our portrait installation, where the panel will hang vertically. We have a easel application where it hangs vertically and also allows you to tilt back. We have our traditional landscape application, which can go either wall or ceiling mounted. And then we also, in the Pro panels, have a unique mode we refer to as a guide panel installation, where it's mounted in landscape, but tilted back at up to 60 degrees. So this gives you a lot of different flexibility in how these are mounted. Why this is important is because we have tested and verified and confirmed these panels to work right in all of these installation applications at 24/7 operation. The power supplies, the cooling, the ventilation. Can you do this with a consumer panel? Sure. But has it been tested and verified to work right? No, it hasn't. If you have an consumer panel mounted in the portrait mode and it fails, we can't. And because of that configuration, we can't warranty that, because that's not how those panels were designed. These panels are specifically designed to work well in all of these installation environments. Now, we do have a couple of kind of strict guidelines on these, on how much tilt can be put into place, because again, this is part of the ventilation and cooling. If you're going with portrait, we have some restrictions on it, that the speakers and on the display must be on the right-hand side. Again, looking at ventilation and cooling. But with our Pro panels, these have been tested and verified to work for these applications, different mounting angles, and 24/7 operation. You do not get that with your consumer panels. We have Pro mode on these panels. Now, Pro mode is something that's been with us for our consumer panels here since 2015. We've also had it run, it was really developed originally with our Pro panels, but adapted into the consumer line. Now, the process to get into these panels is basically the same. Display, mute, volume up, and home will give you that secret handshake to get into the Pro mode. But what's different about the Pro panels is coming straight out of the box. They know, hey, we are often going to be set up for Pro installation. So it saves you some time putting you directly into the Pro setup mode straight out of the box. You can just, it saves you a couple of minutes here. Every little bit of time helps when you're trying to be competitive in your installation bid. When we look at the Pro mode settings, we have the same settings in consumer and Pro models. If you've, I'm not going to go real deep into the Pro settings here today. We've done other classes on that. We can, if we need to set something else up to go deeper into the Pro mode menus and operation, we'll certainly be happy to do so. But in Pro mode, bottom line, what this is designed to do is to protect the customer from themselves and protect the integrity of your installation. We take the world's best smart TVs and to make them into the world's best dumb TVs, locking down inputs, locking down capability, eliminating gaps, eliminating power, turn off functions. There's a lot of really solid reliability functions that we can do with Pro mode. We can do scheduled hours of operation where it turns on at exactly the same time every day. It turns off at the same time. It always turns on to specific inputs. It automatically turns on when you plug an HDMI cable into it. So lots of different configurations that we can do with Pro mode. If you haven't been through one of my classes before on Pro mode, or if we need to set something up here through Capital, we can certainly look at doing so. I've got some great stuff we can do walking through every function of Pro mode. But with the Pro mode, if we're looking at different applications, we have things like digital signage applications or meeting applications, which, we've got a couple of optimized settings. The Pro panels and give you a benefit of having some of these configurations here set right out of the box. For example, if we're going into a digital signage application, we can automatically have things like our light sensor turned off, our picture mode set to vivid, our auto picture modes are all turned off, your IP control turned on, your power management settings all pre-configured. So again, if it saves you 5 minutes on an installation and you're doing 20 panels, that time really adds up in a big hurry. And what is a big part of what makes the Pro panels really advantageous to you. From a software perspective, these do run on our Android TV system. These with the BZ40 series or 35 series, I'm sorry, these have been upgraded to the Android Oreo operating system. So it is going to be extremely fast, real snappy for going through navigating your menus. It gives you a lot of applications for installing your platform, your signage platforms, your meeting control platforms, things like our iRevo digital signage software, our TIOS for your campus control. All of your apps, if you want to do Netflix and Vudu and YouTube and all of your streaming capabilities on here, you can do so. So it is a very powerful streaming platform, but it's also running on an HTML5 platform. So this means you can develop your own apps. If our BRAVIA meeting, BRAVIA signage, simple media player, some of these other apps don't do exactly what you want them to, you are really only limited by your imagination and the ability to create your own apps. We do provide you with all of the documentation, the developer requirements, so that you can have a coder come in here and create your own custom apps, your own custom home screen. This is an extremely flexible platform for being able to by running on the Android operating system. Now, some of the solutions we do provide for you, some of the digital signage applications, Simple Media Player. This is a free application for all of our Pro panels. It runs off of the USB drive. It's very simply, you put your content on your USB drive, your different audio clips, video clips, or still images. Again, works great for digital signage applications. You've got a restaurant. They don't want to be handing out menus to everybody individually that have to be cleaned or thrown away between each customer for touch precautions here. You can have a digital menu signage board that comes on when the place opens up, shows the lunch menu during the appropriate time, automatically switches to a different playlist to show the dinner menu, and at the end of the day, it shuts off. This can be very easily duplicated on every single display in the system here by simply plugging a USB drive into the display with the digital Simple Media Player loaded. So really flexible software here. Now we're controlling multiple displays. We want a single point of control instead of having to plug USBs into every display. We have options like our BRAVIA signage. This is a $300 paid license per TV. You are selling this software solution to your user, and this allows you a central network system here. You will have a server on the hard drive and on the network that's providing the content to all of these different displays. But it does allow you to control multiple displays in a single location from the digital signage, BRAVIA signage program that you have running on a PC, and then the companion software on each display. We need to go multiple sites. We have things like our Revo software. This is a cloud-based management of your digital signage. So again, we can do worldwide corporate campuses and have consistent digital signage in every single application controlled from a single point. For doing things like meeting applications, we have our wonderful BRAVIA meeting application. This is, again, a $300 paid license per display, and it allows you for a single location, multiple offices within a building, classrooms, to have two-way communication using things like our BRAVIA camera, our BM1 camera that matches up with the TV. We are also compatible with a number of different third-party cameras as well. We are even working with third-party providers such as Zoom. We're going to be rolling out here integration with Zoom here shortly to tie in BRAVIA meeting with third-party applications such as Zoom. So again, really flexible system here that allows you management of your meeting rooms, timed hours of operation, automatic turn-on capability, custom graphics up here on your splash screens, very simple, reliable applications that allow you to, a lot of flexibility in your meetings. We want more control in these meetings and these digital signage applications in your home. We have a touch panel overlay available for the 55-inch and above. We can do a touch panel overlay. So this can be used as a digital whiteboard. It can be used as a interactive shopping. It can be used as a 85-inch Crestron touch panel in somebody's home. So a lot of flexibility here with the panel. It is a glass panel. It is very simple to install. It is very stable once it is installed, so it can go in any of the mounting configurations and again give you really exceptional control through our glass touch panel overlay. And then when we look at how these models are going to transition to the new lineup here, it is going to be a very consistent set of features and capabilities as we move into here in the 2020 products and then even further into the 2021 products. So what we have coming this year is the FZ40, which these were originally due in June. Unfortunately, COVID and everything bumped these back a little bit. These will be shipping September timeframe. And then coming out next year, we have a 32, a 43, 49, and a 100-inch class displays coming out in the BZ40 series. So as BZ35s will continue in the 43, 49, but they will be replaced next year with matching BZ40 series. So additional sizes coming for next year. So what makes the BZ40s some nice improvements? Well, first off, picture quality. We've improved the brightness and the contrast capability because these use our full array panels. We've improved our processing with our X1 HDR chipset with the system on chip operations. So where the BZ35s are really snappy and fast, these things are blazing fast. And then a very specific cosmetic design specifically for our business-to-business market. So what's this mean from a brightness perspective? Again, when we look at the BZ35s, these are an edge lit panel with the exception of the 85. The 85 is a direct lit. So with that edge lit or direct lit, we can do panel dimming where it brightens and dims the entire panel as a single unit. This allows us very solid brightness of 620 nits on the 55 through 85 or 550 nits on the 43 and 49. When we go to the BZ40, we get that full array, full local dimming, so we can turn off and on each segment independently. That will give us higher peak brightness at 850 nits. That will give us much deeper blacks for better contrast. And so you're going to get that higher peak brightness performance with the BZ35 or BZ40s. In addition to that, you are also getting our X1 HDR processor. So it gives you things like X motion clarity. It gives you better color radiations. It gives you, our extended dynamic range software. So we have even more control over these black levels to simply give you a better overall picture quality. Now it does come at a few trade-offs here. The 40 series are a VA style panel, so they're going to be a little bit more narrow on their viewing angle, but they're going to have that better contrast and better brightness. The IPS panels in the 35 series are going to have a wider viewing angle, but again, sacrifice of contrast and brightness. This is a really great opportunity right now that you can kind of pick and choose which one works best for your installations. And we'll have the BZ35s available here through the better part of this year, so you can still get those quoted in and sold if needed. So as far as that system on chip operation goes here, you will have that faster performance with the system on chip with the Android Oreo operation. You also have 5G Wi-Fi and 4.2 Bluetooth control. So we've got really, really solid capabilities here with 5G and 4.2 Bluetooth. We have Google Chromecast support on the BZ35s currently, but you're also picking up Apple AirPlay 2 integration with the BZ40. So again, more flexibility for what devices can be connected. Also, another unique feature is the soft access point support. So this is really big in our hospitality applications where we need multiple access points for the different hotel rooms or bread and breakfast, whatever size of application you're doing. The TV can actually act as its own Wi-Fi hotspot for each individual room. So really gives you some flexibility and eliminates the need to have additional routers and Wi-Fi equipment throughout a floor, throughout a room or application. The design of these TVs is unique as well. Now, BZ35, if you look at the BZ35, honestly, it looks exactly like a consumer panel. But with the BZ40, these are going to be specifically changed to a design that is specific to this category. Things like the logo is moved to the side, extremely thin bezels all the way around, completely flat bezel along the bottom. Now your bottom bezel is very slightly thicker than your edges and top, but completely flat all the way around. Really well positioned side mount terminals and a heavily reinforced structure to make sure it's going to hold up well in all of your professional installations. So when again we look at the differences between these here, we are going brighter with better contrast. We are getting better sound quality, better motion processing, so lots of big advantages here. But keep in mind though, there may still be applications where that BZ35, you want to sell those quicker and need some of these capabilities. It is going to have that wider IPS viewing angle, and it does maintain component video connections. So really that component video goes away when we go to a BZ40 series. So keep that in mind for those installations. So how do we match up against our competition? When we look at a BRAVIA Pro panel, we look at our strengths, a single product line, a 2-year model cycle. Every single model is built for a 24/7 duty cycle. Very high margins, especially when compared to our competitors. High brightness, it's 550, 620, up to 850 nits on the new models. And these are all sold at MAP prices, which there's a SPPG, that's your suggested retail price. You have a MAP price, which is the minimum advertised price, and it can be sold anywhere within those ranges. But with a solid MAP program, you're not going to have to worry about anybody selling these at a extremely low cost type margin. We work really well to maintain the MAP pricing model. When you look at the other S brand guys out there, they have multiple product lines. So, while somebody can look at, hey, well, I can buy a Samsung Pro model cheaper, well, sure. but does it have high brightness? Does it have 24/7 run cycles? Does it have, all the things that we provide in our panels? No, they do not. They do not give you all of our capabilities until you are buying the very top end panel. And at that point, we're very price competitive, if not less than the other guys that are out there. Kind of same thing with LG. Again, multiple product lines. And also these guys are selling directly to consumers. We are not selling directly to consumers. We only go through our channels. So you're not going to be competing against Sony when you're doing a bid for any of these commercial jobs here. And again, same thing. They don't only give you their best brightness, their best motion, their best capabilities when you're buying the very, very top end models. Nowhere near as bright with the LGs. 500 nits to 350 nits, man. They're way, way lower, and their 24/7 is only on the top models. So if you've got a bid where you're comparing against the Samsung or LG Pro panel, well, let's look and make sure we're comparing apples to apples, and we're comparing against their top end product, and you're going to come out better with the Sony. So what does all this greatness stuff cost you? Eye test here, it's going to cost you more. So let's get rid of the big chart here and look at the straight up pricing on these. If we look at a BZ35F, it has a list price in the 65 of $21.99, a MAP price of $17.59. You guys are paying $14.05 for this panel. So you've got some pretty decent money here, about $350 margin on that panel. That is pretty solid profit on a professional level panel. And that $17.59 MAP price, if customers go and shop online from any legitimate Sony authorized professional dealer, that's the lowest price they're going to see. So it gives you, again, a lot of flexibility in how you structure your pricing, because nobody can advertise it for less than $17.59. Now, when you look at our consumer panels, a 65X900H is going to be a lower price. Its current selling price at $13.99 is less than the dealer cost of that Pro panel. But when you look at the pricing structure here, $13.99, you're paying $11.51 for that 65-800. Margins are comparable. But what you're getting with these Pro models is you're getting things like that 3-year warranty. You're getting that 24/7, those multiple mounting applications. You're getting access to all the software. You're getting more service and support on these panels. And oftentimes that might make it worth it for the customer to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Pro level panels. What is some of that additional service and support? It's things like our BRAVIA Knowledge Center. This is a site, if you've been on Sony Premium Home, this is the Sony Premium Home basically for the Pro side. It has our software on it. It has all of our detailed specs. If you need to know the operating temperature requirements of these panels, you need to know all those little detailed specs that we don't really provide you on the consumer side. They're here on the Pro side. You need CAD drawings. You need detailed manuals on things like your Pro mode. All of that information is here on our BRAVIA Knowledge Center. And then also we have our 3-year warranty, 3-year service and support on the BRAVIA Pro panels. That is extendable up to 5 years. Before we get into projectors, I want to pause real quick. Chris, do we have any questions coming up on panels?
Right this second, we really only have one. You answered part of it already. So I'm going to jump into the part that has not been answered. On the Pro side, do we have the most common solution, the most common tech issue, which is HDMI delay causing echo and BTC?
Okay. So you're getting, I'm sorry, so say we're getting HDMI audio delay, I guess is the question?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
We do have some correction capability in the TV. Typically, HDMI delays are corrected more on the audio side of the system. But we do have some sync capabilities here with BRAVIA Sync, being able to link that up here with the TV. Probably want to dig a little bit more into that one offline just to make sure we're answering that question appropriately though. So if you'll circle back, whoever was asking that one, if you want to circle back around with me on that, we'll double check and make sure I'm getting you the right answer on that. So.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
The other part of the question was serial and IP control for Crestron AX, and you've already answered that previously.
Good deal. All right, excellent. So let's jump right into projectors. And all right, I'm doing all right on time. So our business projectors are, again, when we look at this lineup here, designed in a lot of the same ways that we worked with on our BRAVIA flat panels, but focusing on a couple of key areas. We want longevity in these products. And to get the best longevity out of a projector system, you go laser. Laser is the most reliable light source that's out there. It's the best long life light source that's out there. And typically it's only been available in your very high-end products. We have been able to work out the best laser solution out there for a couple of reasons. First off, we are our own laser. We do not use subcontracted off-the-shelf OEM lasers from cheap Chinese suppliers. We build our own laser systems, and we were the first to market with a laser projection system. We came out and that was in 2013. In 2014, we continued to lead the industry with coming out with the world's brightest laser projectors. 2015, we had the world's quietest laser projector. 2016, we came out with our first 4K, native 4K laser projection systems. And this is where we started seeing laser into the home market. 2017, we made the most affordable laser projectors in the marketplace. We came out with additional capabilities to make these things last a really long time by going with extremely high light output, and also our intelligent settings in our projectors to really balance out that lifespan of the laser over a very, very long time. And in 2020, we are very proud to have the world's widest selection of laser projection, both on the consumer and the professional markets. So when we look at the Pro lineup here, it really breaks down into three categories. We have our basic compact installation series. This is a 5,000 lumen projector at $15.99, so a very attractive entry-level starting price point. But it's very limited on its installation capabilities. It's a WXGA resolution, but still a whole lot of projector here for the money. When we go to our basic installation series, we start picking up some more lens shifting capability. We pick up some higher resolution and maintaining 5,000 lumens of output. When we go to our advanced installation series, now we're bumping up in light output from 5,500 all the way up through 13,000 lumens of output. Lots of different lens options, lots of different application capabilities. It is really, truly the most the widest range and the most advanced laser projection systems on the market. But looking at our projectors, we also want to understand why there's different technologies and what works well for each different channel. Now, if you've been on one of my projector classes here before, where I've been talking about our 4K SXRD projectors, these are very different. These are LCD-based projectors, and they have different applications for different needs. So with an LCD-based projector, we are going for high brightness. We are going for high color accuracy, and we're using a 3-chip system to get there. Individual red, green, and blue chipsets. That is a transmissive system that gives us, again, very high brightness, very high color accuracy. But the only real downside to an LCD projector is that they do sacrifice on contrast. Being a transmissive system, we're shooting all the light through that LCD panel, but I can't turn off light to a pixel, which is what creates blacks and contrast. I can only turn off the color. So this is why LCDs traditionally have not had anywhere near as good of black as what we can get out of a SXRD system, which is why we use SXRD for our 4K projectors. In a world where we're looking at, at a dedicated cinema application, an SXRD system is a reflective chipset. So we apply current, a pixel goes reflective. We remove current, a pixel goes dark. And so we get much higher contrast and deeper black levels, but also with that really wide color gamut using a red, green, and blue chipset. So really two different applications where we want high brightness and high color, or high contrast and high color. That's really your key difference between your SXRDs and your LCD-based projectors. So when we look at the third option out there in projection, we're looking at DLP systems. A DLP system is using a single chip with a red, green, and blue segmented color wheel. Now, while these projectors can offer higher, high brightness and a lower cost in a lot of cases, that does come with a number of significant drawbacks. And this is the reason why we do not use DLP. DLPs are built by Texas Instruments and sold to a variety of different companies out there. And by flashing red, green, blue, and then white through that color wheel, and then doing that in rapid succession, you are going to be able to get higher, those higher peak numbers of brightness. But in reality, when you look at peak light output versus color light output, DLP projectors are not consistent across that range. With a LCD or SXRD, your color output and your light output is the same. So it does not give you, whereas a DLP will give you somewhat bloated numbers. And in addition, when you're flashing different lights at people's eyes, all at different times, DLP relies on your eye's ability to take a red, a green, and a blue and a light segment and put all those things back together at one point in time. It's very, very difficult to do. And your eye quickly becomes fatigued. And then bottom line is neither of these systems are native 4K. A single chip DLP is simulating 4K. An LCD can simulate 4K. And we don't think either of those simulated 4K solutions are the best solution. If you want 4K, buy an SXRD, which is the LCOS-based systems are the world's widest range of native 4K systems with our SXRD panels at $5,000 through $60,000 price points. When you get into a DLP, it's a simulated 4K technology. When you get into an LCD, it's a simulated 4K technology. So that's why we, if all it's doing is simulating 4K, well, that's not good for us. That's why we're going to work with our native resolution and give you the best possible color contrast and clarity with that native resolution of the chipsets. So a couple of things that we've done to improve this: we do build our own engines. Again, we're not buying off-the-shelf products from third-party manufacturers. We are the manufacturer when it comes to our projectors. So on our LCD projectors, we have come out with a new optical compensator that helps to correct the unpolarized light coming through this through the projector. What does that mean? It means deeper black levels. The best black levels I've ever seen in an LCD projector. Again, still not as good as SXRD, so depending upon your application, you want to choose the right projector for that right room. But for things like mid-light environments where you want good black levels, but we also want really high brightness, golf simulators, man, these are a great application for golf simulators. In fact, the world's leading golf simulators all recommend Sony projectors as the best choice for these applications. A lot of the stuff we've done in our consumer projectors and our professional digital cinema projectors, like our reality creation processing, is in our 4K, is in our LCD lineup. So we're going to give you the ability to look at that incoming signal, compare it in real time, and get the most detailed, the most accurate image actually presented to the eye. This technology is in our panels, it's in our projectors, so you're getting these common solutions. We've looked at how to make these projectors really last a long time. Now, with a laser light engine, you have a 20,000 hour half-life. I mean, that is huge. That is, if you're running it 5 hours a day, 365 days a year, you're going to get about 11 years before it reaches its half-life, which is 50% of its original brightness. If you run them 24/7, you're getting about 2.5 years before we reach 50% of its original brightness. And all of our projectors are rated for 24/7 operation. So you've got some really long life out of this. The problem that we run into with a laser or a lamp or an LED or any light sources, all light sources will gradually decay over time. So where it may start off perfect over, 10,000 hours, 20,000 hours later, it's obviously not going to look the same as it was on day one. So what we've worked with our intelligent settings is this is our method to help look at, what are some common installations and how can we flatten that curve out and give you longer life with more consistent performance. So we have applications like our meeting or our classroom session, where I want the projector to be very quiet, I want it to be bright, but I'm willing to sacrifice maybe a little bit of that, some of that color capabilities on here. Our classroom setting is a really consistent overall, we're not sacrificing color, we're sacrificing a little bit of our brightness here to give it a very long life setting. Our museum applications, this is designed for exceptional color accuracy. We're not going quite as bright on a museum setting. So we're going to get, again, very consistent lifespan. entertainment venues, whether it's a sports bar, a theme park, anything like that. We're going to be able to give you super bright, really punchy color, but we don't care about fan noise there. So I can run it hotter and run the fan noise a little bit higher, and it's not going to cause any objections. You know, I look at it, hey, if I'm going to a sports bar and I can hear the projector running, I got to find a better place to go watch my games because this one's a little dead. And then we have our multi-screen applications where we really focus on color blending and color accuracy across multiple projectors. We do a lot of double stacks, triples, quads, where we're blending multiple projectors together for single large images. And our multi-screen, again, really gives you that priority to our color matching application. And now this is on basically every projector in the lineup from our CWZ C10 all the way up through our flagship. Now, when we go to our intelligent setting 2, this kind of takes intelligent setting to another level. This is on our large venue series projectors, our 91, 101, 131 series, where it is taking that intelligent setting, looking at the curve on it, and then readjusting it every couple of months. Every 6 months, the projector is automatically going to adjust itself depending upon how much it's been used, how much it's color shifted, and it's going to be able to give you, again, flatten that curve out, give you consistent long life performance out of our laser light engine. Another great thing about our laser light engine, because it does last so long, we want to make sure we can keep it really accurately balanced throughout that entire lifespan. Auto color calibration is something we do on both our consumer projectors and our pro projectors. There is a slight difference though in how it's implemented in our consumer projectors. Consumer projectors, we recommend running it every 500 to 1,000 hours to maintain that day one color accuracy all the way out through the end of the lifespan of the laser light engine. So with the consumer projectors, we do have that manually activated on this system. So you have to actually be there to activate the system. On the pro projectors, we don't necessarily want to be doing these service calls. So our auto color calibration is set to automatically activate every 500 hours. And it's a micro imager on the DMD that looks at the color accuracy and will adjust itself every 500 hours to bring it back to that day one picture quality. So a really flexible system here to give you the most consistent color accuracy. And default setting is turned on. You, of course, can turn this off if you want to manually manage this operation. We look at some other things for long life performance, like our automatic filter cleaning. There's actually a little robotic arm that comes out on the filter, and every 100 hours is knocking all dust and debris off of that filter and blowing it out out of the projector. It happens every 100 hours. It's turned on by default, and it's there with this system. There is no manual cleaning cycle or maintenance cycle at all recommended for these projectors. It is truly a set it and forget it type system. When you look at intelligent setting, auto color calibration, and automatic filter cleaning, this is a really maintenance-free type system. We give you some great integration and control capabilities on these as well. We do have HD-Base-T and Crestron XTP connectivity on all models here in the lineup. We have also added dual control capability on these. We did find that sometimes when you're using HD-Base-T video, that can have some interference with your IP control. So we do have two inputs on the projectors. One is dedicated for control, the other is for your video signal. So we're going to be able to make sure we have rock solid control capabilities of these. We do recommend dual Cat5s to these projectors to make, or actually Cat 6 Plus would be really recommended for video to make sure that you're going to have really solid control over these projectors. It can operate on one, but we found it's just simply more reliable if you have those two connections going to the projector. Again, this is on all models now in the lineup. When we look at the lineup, we are right now coming out with our new models. So our 90 series and 120 series are being replaced by 91, 101, 131. Pretty minor, a couple of changes here when we go to the new models here. We picked up that new intelligent setting 2.0. We picked up Extron XTP support. We have a new, even more lens options with the new short throw lens for these guys. And these also have support an HD SDI expansion card. So if you do need the Pro HD SDI input on it, there is an expansion card to add to these projectors to get that capability. But 9,000, 10,000, 13,000 lumen, man, these things are flamethrowers. Tons of lens options available for them. You know, with the 91 series through the 131, we can go from a short throw down to a 0.75 to a long throw at 7.5. So extremely wide range here. Our mid-level series, our FHD 70 and 75 series at 5,500, 6,500 lumens, has a 0.33 to a 4.84 throw. So what this means is on a 150-inch screen, I can be as close as about, and I'm trying to remember numbers off the top of my head, close as about three feet, as far as about 50 feet. So you've got a massive, massive range of where these guys fit in. Our laser light series with our CWZ10, there's not an interchangeable lens for that one. It's a throw range of 1.28 to 1.88. So you do have a little bit more limited with those more entry-level projectors. Also, as we get into these better lenses, they are all glass. They are all built by Sony. We don't use third-party off-the-shelf lenses here. These are all custom and engineered for our applications. The FHZ, the 91 through the 131, they do use, again, interchangeable lenses. There is no standard lens for these projectors. You must specify the lens. Lenses will range anywhere from around $500 to $4,000. So there's a lot of room for error in there. If you just quote in, you know, $2,000 for the lens, you could be okay. You could be really screwed. Make sure that you check your lenses. With the 75 series, the FHD 75 and 70, these do have a standard lens included, but again, lots of different options. So how do we pick the right lens? Well, to pick the right lens, you need to use our applications. So let me switch over to my other computer here. To pick the right lens, it's very simple to go to Sony Premium Home. Now, I've recommended this for many years for our consumer projectors. It also works for our home projectors. You also have an application available for Android or iOS. So if you want to run this program on your phone, you can easily do so there. But if we go to our projector tab here, and again, this is, you know, really kind of focused on our consumer projectors, but we have all of the pro stuff here as well. Simply scroll down and go to your projector simulator. Projector simulator, you have to agree to the terms and conditions here. And now we can calculate based on either projection size or projection distance. Usually, you know, so usually I know what size image I want, so let's just calculate our distance. We can go either floor or ceiling application. And then we have drop-down menus here. So our drop-down menu here for the actually the first one that comes up is our VPLF series. So it's our F75. I can select any of my series projectors. Keep in mind, consumer projectors are under video projector. Let's go back to that FHD 75. Let's do that guy right here. It's a native 16:10 aspect ratio. But if I want to change that to a 16:9, I certainly can. Let's say we want to do a 150-inch screen, and you can select that in inches, meters, or feet, and you can, you know, select in any of your screen measurements, diagonal height or width. We're having a 16:9 screen. I want to project a 16:9 image. And this will now tell you what our standard lens is using. Now keep in mind here, this is one thing that I have seen people screw this up, is units of measurement do make a big difference. Meters, inches, and feet are all different. Don't be that guy. I've had somebody do this. So with a, you know, if we change this to feet, again, for a 150-inch screen, I can be anywhere from 3.5 feet to 53 feet of throw. So massive amount of flexibility here. And then it does tell you here your different models for the lenses, and then you have your standard lens right here. So we try and make that really simple to use for picking your screen size and how that's going to work for each application. Okay. So switching back over here, no, I'm almost out of time here. But we're about done here. So our laser lineup here, again, we've got lots of different options here from the CWZ10 at a WXGA resolution to the WXGA resolution on the PHZ12 and above, going up all the way through our 13,000 lumen FHD 131 series. And if you can't read everything on the eye chart, I get it. Zoom is not the best quality for little details like that. But we will make this available to you here from the guys at Capital. So in our PHZ12 series, we are currently phasing out all of our lamp-based projectors. So our PHZ12 is taking the place of our PHZ10 or PWZ10s, kind of configuring that all into a single unit. With our new panel, it gives you more brightness and higher contrast, the intelligent settings, Extron XTP support, and those dual jacks for your external control. When we look at our CWZ10 series, this is our entry-level projector for those basic meeting and classroom applications. This is a XGA resolution, so it is a 4x3 projector. Why 4x3? Well, because there's still a ton of screens out there that are not cost effective to replace to get into a 4x3 setup. So a CWZ10 is really great for those applications. The problem is what happens when you plug a laptop into a WXGA projector, that when your laptop's 16:9 and your projector's 4x3, you run into scaling issues. We have automatic scaling built into the projector to show your full HD presentation on this XGA projector here, WXGA projector. So we're going to be able to convert that over, great scaling, and show you all of your content without having to crop things off. And again, this is our entry-level projector at a $15.99 map. So again, this is replacing those other entry-level projectors that are all lamp-based. We're going all laser. So warranty, service, and support. This is, again, where we absolutely destroy everything out there. And why, a lot of companies may, a lot of individuals may want to look at our pro products over our consumer products. Projectors, 5-year warranties or 12,000 hours, whichever comes first. Your laser light source is you're warranted. It's got like a car warranty, 12,000 hours or 5 years, whichever comes first. Our panels are a 3-year warranty, extendable up to 5 years. And with this warranty and the service and support, we have a dedicated support group that does advanced exchange on these for that entire warranty period. So up to 90 days from your invoice date, if you have a problem with it, it is an A-stock replacement. 90 days to 3 to 5 years, whatever the warranty period is, we are going to replace it with a B-stock unit. To get the service, we do contact our dedicated support line. You don't bring these back to Capital. You contact our Posse Pro Support Group at 800-883-6817 or email at prosupport.com. This is only for dealer use. They're going to troubleshoot the whatever's going on. If we can't fix it over the phone, we set up the advanced replacement. It is limited to 1 advanced replacement per model. If you're killing off multiple pieces, we need to dig deeper and figure out why multiple devices are falling off. But typically reliability is extremely solid, and we back it up as such. So any questions there? And I will put my contact info up here. Here's my mobile and email. If you have any other questions, you need help designing a system, figuring out, hey, can I do this? Can I make this work? Will this product work right for my installation? Please give me a call. I'm happy to help you out with any engineering, any pre-sale support, system design applications. Once you're in the field, make sure that all your techs in the field have the dedicated Posse support group phone number in their phone, because if you call the consumer line at 222 Sony, they are not going to be able to help you out. That is a consumer line. These are pro products. Same thing with our ES line. Our ES dealer line is for dealer use only, and they are focused on these particular products. All right, Chris, how's it looking? Any questions out there?
At this point, we don't see any guys. Any questions? Guys, right. If you guys have any questions, great time to ask. We'll leave it open for a few seconds here and just see if anybody comes in. Okay. We all know how it goes. As soon as we get off the phone, questions are going to roll in, or sometime throughout the week, it's going to pop up. If that happens, feel free to reach out to Andrew, reach out to Sony, reach out to your account manager at Capital. We're all here to help out and love chatting with you guys. So, absolutely. Guys, if you guys have any questions, I don't see any rolling in. So, Andrew, you
All
must
right.
have nailed it all right on the head.
Man, had a good one this morning. Okay, well, great, everybody. Thanks for joining in. I will throw my splash screen back up with my contact info on there for a few more minutes. I'll keep the line open for another couple minutes or so if anybody does have anything else popping in, or feel free to contact me offline. Other than that, thanks, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.